Hey, what's up, everybody? The VC here, coming at you with another video. It's about anything and everything. Nothing's off the table. I'm just off the cuff, is what I am. And other than that, I think we should just get right to it. All right. Um, censorship sucks. All right. And I'm just trying to play things. I'm not trying to take people's money, monetization, and all that other crap. I'm just here just to kind of show, when it comes to visual or audio proof. And other than that, that's it. And I always give credit where credit's due. And I don't know, it's just weird because, the video I tried to play yesterday, I get blocked, and I had to cut out Joe Rogan's segment because it blocked my video from playing. So I couldn't really show you what was said just because I played Joe Rogan's clip, which sucks. On Rumble, it allowed me, so if you want to watch that entirety video in its full entirety on Rumble, you can find that there, which is right here. Where this Joe Rogan interview thing. All right. I played in its full entirety of pretty much what he said about Kamala and about how her campaign people, staffers, were kind of lying to cover their ass about what, he said and what they said and all that stuff. And he was just saying that none of that's true. He was debunking everything that was being said, like from this book that was published. So if you want to watch that in its entirety, it's in this video here. Um, which sucks. So I had to chop out like maybe I want to say 10 minutes of a clip towards the end of this video because I don't know, YouTube. It's YouTube. All right, that's what it is. So just give you guys a heads up on that. All right. So with that, let's talk about it. All right. Where do I begin? There's just so much corruption, right? And corruption, scam that's going on within government. Not the current administration. Actually, they're trying to weed out the scamming and corruption. All right. And they're trying to clean up the country. The Trump administration trying to clean up the country, trying to, just do what's best for the country, right? Cut spending, weed out all the illegals, the gangs, the drugs, everything. I don't see anything wrong with that. All right, like this this Trump's order on transgender women about not allowing biological males compete in women's sports, which is addressing towards transgender. And so you have that. And then, right now, the Board of Education um, is the next department to be looked into to find some cuts into that one. Either that or shut it down completely because, again, what came about from USAID and all the weird and frivolous spending that they were using that money towards. It's what Joe Rogan says here. It's crazy and a waste of taxpayers' money, right? Let's have a reminder of that coming up in a moment, actually. And every day I'm going to address the dumbass protesting that's going on against Trump's immigration policy. Let's look at this footage right here. All right. And of course, you're going to have, like violence break out because The thing about these idiots, all right, when it comes to protesting, Republicans don't typically protest, nor if they do, has it ever gone violent, right? Democrats always try to be tolerant of the violence and allow it to happen. And this is obviously a Democratic-led protest, and violence breaks out. It's like, for what? Because illegals are being deported?
Now at 1:30, back to breaking news out of downtown LA, where a large group of students are marching in protest against President Trump's immigration policies.
A fight has just broken out. Let's go back to Rich Prickett. He's overhead in Sky 5. Rich, what's going on?
Yeah, Glenn and Lou, just moments ago, what was a peaceful protest is now turned into a scuffle. We're seeing, looks like at least one person that's bleeding there after removing his shirt. We saw a couple of the protesters that were throwing punches at one another and then chasing each other down in the street. And then now it's spread into Grand Park here. But looks like at least one of those protesters, who we believe are all students from various high schools here in the Los Angeles area,
dumbass kids.
Have gotten together. So again, this just happening minutes ago. We watched it unfold. We'll widen out here just for a moment, just kind of give you an idea of the crowd size that's here out in front of City Hall. We had a couple hundred or several hundred students and protesters that were out making their way through the streets of Los Angeles and then collected back up at City Hall along the steps. And the next thing you know, we just saw the scuffle happen. Some of the students or the protesters were trying to break up the fight, and then we saw some of them being chased down in the park here. So again, this just happening moments ago. We'll stay overhead, kind of monitor the situation, but I would imagine at this point this is going to prompt a response by law enforcement here that will make their way towards Grand Park. For now, I'm live in Sky 5 and Rich Prickett.
Yeah, they don't want police to intervene, right?
Do you see any police officers even
Help,
getting close
help,
to this
police,
right
now? The very people that
Give me just one
are
second.
into defunding
I don't
police
right this second, but again, this
and
just
don't like
happening
police
within the last
involvement
couple of
and push back
so
police.
This is creating the attention that of what we just saw.
Bunch of
I would
dumbass
imagine
kids.
That, some law enforcement presence would be necessary over here. But you can see some of the students that are trying to break up any more engagement here. But you know, there was a time where we saw one person that was running down the street
you can
on
see
his
them
own,
throwing
and then just
fists
being
over
chased
here.
down by several of the other protesters, and then again it poured over into Grand Park here, and it looks like students are trying to tend to this person here. I mean, I would imagine they're gonna need to bring in maybe a paramedic here to evaluate this person that clearly is bleeding right here in the middle of the park. So again, let me look out the window here and just kind of see where we are as far as any sort of LAPD or CHP that were in the area. But I'm not seeing them
went shirtless.
right at this point,
Right there where
not
my
making their way
mouse
into the
cursor
park.
is.
But I would imagine at this point this is creating a lot of attention.
Rich, you keep mentioning someone who's bleeding. Can you kind of give us heads up, because there's so many people down there? Where is that particular person?
All these people right here.
Right here in the center of the crowd is where that person is being surrounded by other people that were here protesting in front of City Hall, and then we're seeing other people that you can see just kind of waving people away and just don't want any more hostility here. Again, we saw this breakout right in the street in front of City Hall, and then next thing you know, they're running into Grand Park here. But yeah, right here in the middle of the crowd is where that person took off their shirt, and we can clearly see blood on their back.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And again,
Whatever,
we'll await to
Stupid
see
ass.
what response comes to the park here.
All right, enough of that shit. Bunch of dumbasses, man. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Yeah, very fascinating stuff here. Is you got a bunch of dummies. Let's see what else here. Students protest after Orange County school employee shares post showing Mexican flag burning. Man, you guys are just a bunch of dummies. See, San Marcos protest organizer speaks out after her father was detained by ICE. Was he illegal? That's the question to me. Was he illegal? And then if he was, then okay, then I guess there's no. All right, before we get to the scamming, we'll take a look at this here.
We had no concept.
So far this year, Immigration and Customs Enforcement has arrested thousands of migrants. In response, another protest against mass deportations has erupted in the North County. Our Dominique Lavigny attended the rally in San Marcos.
You think you do people a favor because you're getting all these people that are taking up the shelters, taking up the streets, right? Taking up homes that could be open for people to buy and all that, because we're in a shortage essentially of homes because they're being given to these illegals. You would think that it's a service that the U.S. is doing to be rid of them.
With the details, Dominique.
Good evening. Yeah, you can see things behind me have calmed down significantly, but earlier tonight, all 4 intersections behind me were filled with protesters asking for compassion from the Trump administration, as well as demanding a stop to mass deportations. And they say nothing was going to stop them from making their voices heard. Rain or shine, protesters in San Marcos fighting against mass deportations say they're making their voices heard.
I hope the president hears us and actually does something about it instead of going against the people.
Demanding the Trump administration to reconsider its plan to carry out the largest mass deportation effort in American history.
I want to see more human decency.
Immigrations and Customs Enforcement has arrested more than 8,700 migrants across 19 cities since the beginning of the year. That's according to the Department of Homeland Security.
Our people are here to work, provide for their families.
Yeah, but if you're legal, you're not going to.
This comes as Governor
pay
Gavin
your
Newsom
taxes.
signed 2 new laws on Friday allocating $25 million to defend the state against federal actions and another $25 million to protect vulnerable populations, including immigrants.
This has been grassroots from people who are just feeling unified by the same message that
I wonder where Gavin Newsom got $50 million from if we're, like over budget right now and they have to do all this cutting. Like, where's he getting $50 million from?
do not agree with this president's policies, and we will not sit down quietly and take it.
Nunez worked with the San Marcos Police Department and stationed volunteers at each street corner to help keep the protest peaceful.
The last thing we want to do is project the image that we are criminals. We are a peaceful protest.
But for Gomez, this goes beyond organizing a large rally.
This just means a lot to me because it has affected my family drastically.
Gomez says her dad was detained by ICE in November.
My dad's my only parent, so for me to lose him, yeah.
That forced her to drop out of school to take on the financial burden for her family.
I've been the one having to take the role and responsibility of making sure my grandma's okay and that my little siblings are okay as well.
While her family fights for her dad's case, she's fighting on the streets, hoping to protect other families from the responsibility she now carries.
I would like to see a huge change because we are all humans. We all deserve to be treated equally and fairly.
Protesters say it's been an incredibly difficult time for immigrants and their families, and they plan on continuing to show up until...
I don't know. I mean, they're still getting it twisted with illegals versus legal immigrants. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the whole part that bugs me is they're getting it twisted, and they're trying to create confusion. All right, so just saying. Excuse me there. My throat's itchy. All right, so we know that, once they started to take a look at the books of everything. They started to see that Elon, with his Department of when it comes to looking for efficiency, Doge, um, he's looking to streamline and cut government spending because there's a lot of waste, right? A lot of waste. And so uncovered a lot of things, right? Recently. And the biggest one that came out recently was the USAID, right? The USAID that came out of it when you started to see where all that stuff was going to and where it's going towards, right? And so it's pretty crazy when you look at what it was going towards. And to me, it was looking like they were just put out there, and then in order to just say, hey, accept it, and then just take the kickback from it. And that's all it really was for. I don't think they were really was going to push these sort of trends and a lot of trans push across different parts of the world, which is kind of weird and odd. But that's what it was. But I think it was just more of pushing money in order to get more money back. All right, that's the corruption part of it. And so and when you look at all the scamming that's going on in the government with that Department of Education, where they have teacher unions that continue to take on money, and a lot of it, right? Good money, stable money, unionized money, but yet the standards of that education in itself has made our has made our country is one of the worst in the world, essentially. And it's funny how the cost, as what Trump was saying, the cost per pupil is one of the highest in the world, but yet in terms of the turnaround on that is that we got one of the worst education in the world, even though a lot of people come to here in the U.S. for the education, which is kind of odd, but yeah. And so yesterday that was probably the biggest thing that came about was the Department of Education. When they were trying, the Democrats were trying to raid the office that was locked down. Basically, the Board of Education office, it was locked down, not allowing anybody in. And it was funny because Democrats were demanding access, right? Let us in there, And so it was just pretty funny. Let me see if I can find some footage of that, because it was kind of annoying too, looking at Maxine Waters just going on and on. It's like, shut up, you old bag, And so let me see if I can find that. Can't seem to find it. I just had some up, and all of a sudden I can't find it. All of a sudden, let me see here. Department of Education blocked. There we go. See, I don't know why it wasn't popping up. Yeah, Maxine Waters, old bag. Yeah, it was actually very funny. This guy is standing out there, not allowing access, and it was just funny. Let me look at this.
There's a power within each of us. When awakened, it can boost performance, enhance learning.
We're coming in. We're coming in. We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
You're not coming in.
Who are you?
Who under whose
Who are
orders?
you? Who are you?
Who are you, sir?
Do you have business here?
Yes.
Yes.
I've sent the secretary, I've sent the assistant secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
Yeah, I don't know that that's been accepted, so until that's accepted,
Wait a minute.
Who are you? And what do you do here?
It's funny. I wonder what led them all to kind of get together to They call this an insurrection-y moment. Like, what led them all to go to the Department of Education office all of a sudden? That's the part I wasn't quite sure of. But they all went there, right? And demanding to get inside.
Security responsibility.
Get out of the way. We pay you. We pay for your job. We pay you.
We're members of
We pay
Get
you.
the fuck out of here, bitch.
Nobody is accepted a meeting.
You are.
We haven't heard that from the secretary. We haven't heard that from the spokesman.
I'm relaying that.
You are not the spokesman for the department. You are a security guard.
Can you
We're members of Congress. Where's your badge? Where's your badge?
We don't have any identification.
Where's your ID? Where's your ID?
We are not.
It's not good enough.
We are not a threat to security. We're members of Congress, and we want to ask a question.
We walk into the White House without having to go through magnetometers.
Can we get someone?
This is an outrage. This is an outrage.
I'd like to speak with someone who works here.
So what are you going to do? You're going to beat us up if we go in?
I mean, you're going to,
we want you to move out of the way.
We're not steamrolling you.
Get out of the way.
This says all access
Sure that we can't.
Stand aside, sir.
We're
This
members
says
of
all
Congress.
access entrance.
Please stand aside, sir.
I'm not standing aside.
Why not?
Because my role is to make sure that.
What authority do you have to block members of Congress from the oversight? We don't have oversight responsibilities. By what authority can you deny members of Congress their oversight role?
You don't have a business reason to be here.
You do not have authority, sir. You do not have authority. There is no authority for you to deny members of Congress their oversight responsibility.
We're the
If you have an appointment and you're on a guest list, we will let you in.
It's a public
Is what you're saying? Is what you're saying?
Or you have to have an escort.
Let me
Somebody
ask
come
you a
down.
question. Can I ask my question? Are you
Send them
telling
down.
me today that you have to be on a guest list in order to come to the Department of Education?
Either we are informed in advance if somebody's coming, or
Oh, they
You
knew
were
we were
informed.
coming.
You were informed in advance. 94
there's an
members of
escort to
Congress.
take you where you're going.
Sir, 94 members of Congress signed
Fuck
a
out of
letter
here, dude.
asking the acting
You
secretary
yelling
for
your
a
way
meeting
at me, I would
to
be
answer
like,
a simple
fuck you,
question.
dude.
And she is
I'm
apparently.
not aware of the meeting.
So you have to be on a guest list to enter the Department of Education.
Members
I
of
just
Congress,
explained
we
you
don't
have
have to be on
either
the guest list.
On a list in advance to have access, or if you're coming, then you have to let us know who your escort is. I don't know.
That wasn't true last year. Did something change between last year?
That's always been the procedure.
No, it hasn't. I've walked into this building multiple times last year. I walked in. We were at least allowed to walk into that lobby, not stopped outside like this.
It's no difference. I mean, you'd be stopped at the visitor's desk.
We're
Okay,
trying to
let's go.
stop the
I'm
Congress.
doing that in advance.
No.
You know why? Because you have this mob out here that if they're inside the building, they're going to push their way through the different doors, and it would have created this scene inside the building. He's trying to prevent all that from happening by stepping outside first and just not let this little dumbass mob try to come in to raid the Department of Education here, because they're mad and upset that the office of the Department of Education is being raided right now under the vice of Doge, in terms of there's going to be some change happening here, so they're just mad about that.
Why are you doing
We're allowed to go to the
We've
visitor's
got
desk.
100 people out here.
We're trying to
These are
save
members of Congress. These are members of Congress.
job. We're trying to save your job. You won't have a job if we don't help you.
I'll be like, hey, don't threaten me a good time, bitch. Fuck out of here, bitch.
We're here speaking for a ton of kids from coast to coast that deserve a quality public education, and this department should stay open, and we want to share that message.
All right, go ahead. Go preach that message somewhere else.
That's what we want to talk to her about.
Last year, we'd be able to walk in and go to that desk.
All right.
I mean, the response I got right here, that doesn't sound like,
Sir.
it's not dangerous.
I'm going to stop you right there. No. I'm going to stop you right there and put it on the record. You did not get a dangerous response
She's
here.
telling me to get out of the way?
You did not get a dangerous response here, so I'm not going to let you.
Yeah, bitch said, get out of the way. Get out of the way, old bag. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
I'm not afraid of him. He can lie all
I'm not afraid of him. Get the fuck out of here,
What I
bitch.
asked you is, do we need
Old
to be on
bag.
the guest list to
be in.
Or
no
somebody
one,
coming
no
down
one,
to escort
but
you.
there
You don't
was
have to
no
be there.
danger or threat to you.
Go
So
get
let's just
somebody.
make
Go
sure
get
that
somebody.
We are allowed to go to that desk
there
right
was
there.
no danger to you.
It says all
We are allowed to
so
go to
that
that desk right there.
Go get
so that-
Like I've
somebody
done
to escort.
They're just trying to weasel their way in by saying, okay, I'll just let you go to the desk. No, they're all going to mob their way in if he opens that door.
Get someone.
chief of staff.
So what?
I said there's not an exception.
we can.
Why are you not letting us?
Why can't we ask for one? Why can't we go in and ask for one?
Because they don't want nobody to be mobbing that building, you bunch of dummies. Guys, these guys are
Create
dummies.
surveys in under a minute with AI-powered help from SurveyMonkey.
Let me see if there's an extension to this here.
Right now, you're looking live at the Department of Education. Members of Congress, they're being denied entry.
It's funny, though, how he's just tolerating it, rolling his eyes.
There's a
And
security guard there. I'm guessing that's who's in the brown, tan-looking shirt, but we don't know for sure. They're having a tense conversation. Kind of want to listen in for a second here.
Show them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
To federal buildings.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor
Do you know who members
is
of Congress
blocking
are?
members of
Sure, we're all
Congress.
members of Congress.
Maybe he doesn't understand. Do you
A private
understand who
security
members of Congress
contractor
are?
is making the decision to block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
I don't think he knows.
You have the authority as a private security contractor to block members of Congress. That has been knighted and granted to you.
You have to at least let us go to the desk.
Yeah. Too many goons out.
no, because, again, if he was to open that door, they're just going to mob their way in. And it'd be on him. He's like, nah, I'm not going to let that happen.
Who told you to do this? Open the door. So do you understand who members of Congress are? Who are we then? You don't care. We have a job to do. We're not dangerous.
You have a job to do. All right, turn around and go back to your office.
Security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress.
With
We're parents,
identification.
We're teachers.
There's our ID, right there.
We were elected.
This is our job.
This is our job. We're doing our job.
Oh, wow. You're securing this building against who?
Members of Congress.
Who are you protecting here?
It's members of the people's office.
Just everybody. He just said, if you don't have a meeting, don't have an appointment, he's not aware if anybody has an appointment, sorry, no one's coming in.
Open the door to this building, to members of Congress. We are not posing any threat here.
Yeah, but you're inciting it. You're citing everybody, bitch.
We're trying to request a meeting, and they have a private security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education. We are members of the
No, how about if he was instructed that nobody will come in, he's just doing what he was told to do. Nobody come in. He's not making the choice of not letting them in.
Billionaires and his minions to come in
I don't
to
know
this
who
building.
he is. I don't know who he is, but I know who I am. And I'm a member of Congress with oversight responsibilities trying to request a meeting, and a private security contractor.
That's different if you're trying to request a meeting when you sure have already done that.
Allowing me to enter the building.
They allow billionaires to go in this building, but not the people's representatives.
Get the fuck out of here, man. I tell that dude to get the fuck. Go Pakistan, you bitch.
There's a lack of transparency.
Shut the
here.
fuck up.
Members of Congress, the people's representatives are not allowed in. This is not transparency.
This is not transparent. Yeah, turn around and walk away, you dumb fuck.
Call the Department of Homeland Security.
Trying to incite everybody too, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. You think you're better than everybody too, man.
And they're treating us.
Kids deserve to have us go in and fight for them.
Ah, shut up, old bag.
Children of this country deserve.
They deserve better, man. Yeah, the education is down in the dumpers.
See him. Let the camera see him.
You old bags. Get the fuck out of here. All you guys walk away.
We're members of Congress.
Come in.
They're
and
blocking
I want you to
us.
see this man here, who is a federal employee. He told us.
No, he's not.
Are you a federal employee?
No.
Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money. to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here.
Just said, if you don't have an appointment, no one's coming in. He hasn't been told that there's been any appointments, so no one's coming in. Then you got this dumb fuck back here that keeps saying, "Oh, Max says, last year I was able to go in and be able to go to the visitor's desk." Shut the fuck up.
All access entrance.
Well, and I think it should be clear to parents in the United States, if you want to advocate on behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You voted for members of Congress to advocate on behalf of your children. Children with disabilities.
Oh yeah, the officers are standing by on the inside too. They're ready for the mob.
Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf.
Yeah, and you're not gonna try to
America, we have a
bust me up. Don't bust me up, bitch. Fuck up.
And let the cameras see they're calling all of these gun-loading people out on us.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNation.
Fuck out of here, bitch. Man, when I see that shit, I was pissed yesterday. I was like, man, you old bag, shut the fuck up, Maxine Waters. And she needs to retire like Biden, all right? So, yeah, that's why the Department of Education has been hit, because the results have been terrible. And what Trump's mission is to really disband it, just shut it down, and just allow states, state by state, to run their own, essentially, Department of Education, state to state, rather than federally, because he just thinks it's just a waste of money, and the results have really hasn't proven anything, and so that's just his next area of hitting, which is pretty funny here. So let's see what Trump says here.
Announcement. Shenyun, the world-class performance, has been targeted.
The Department of Education, what do you think when you saw Democratic lawmakers trying to get into the Department of Education earlier today?
Well, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland. China does very well in education. And then you look at us. We spend much more money than they do per pupil, or any other way. But we spend much more money than they do, and yet we're ranked this year, Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last. So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states, where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden.
Yeah, state to state. Just like how he said abortion. He just wants it to go state to state and not have federal government be involved in that matter. I don't see anything wrong with that. So another cost-cutting move to streamline government, right? He streamlined USAID, was it 10,000 plus employees, to streamline it down to 300 or something like that. He has an offer package across the board for federal workers to accept a severance package. I think it's like anywhere upwards of 40,000 plus. I think they say it could reach up to 60,000 plus people that wants to accept it as like a severance buyout package. to like no longer work for the government as he's streamlining and cost cutting the government. And so I think it's cool. I don't see anything wrong with that. And so see what happens, you know. I think there's nothing wrong with it going state to state. And you know, we'll see what happens there. All right. I don't want to hear from MSNBC because they're going to skew it. Elon Musk says Department of Education no longer exists. Well, it exists for the moment, but I know Trump wants to shut it down because it's just waste of money and bad results, right? So why continue to spend all that money? So, yeah, very interesting stuff. Other than that, yeah, just a bunch of clowns, you know. I covered the USAID situation a couple days ago about the waste of fraud and money going into that, just like the Board of Education, waste of money. So we'll see what happens. All right, speaking of more waste of money, we'll talk about that more in another video. The high-speed rail, all right, has come back to the topic of discussion once again. So yeah, we'll take a look at that in another video. Comment down below, let me know what you think. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Rumble, and let me know what you think. Thanks, and I'll see you next one.